That's the best way, I think, to describe what is going on at the DOJ, White House, all of that stuff. I'm not going to sit here, and you guys know if you've listened to my radio program, if you watch any of the stuff I do, God bless you for that, taking time out to hang out with me. But I'm not gonna bullshit you. Say, well, the DOJ and Cash Patel and Dan Bongino and all them, such shit. You don't find anything. You know the guy there. We're gonna call him Epstein. He trafficked to himself. Nobody buys it anymore. And look, in my business, right, radio, everybody says you got to be on the team or else. I'm on America's team. I don't really give a shit about anybody else's team. That's the team I'm on. And I'm going to tell you guys this right now. I don't give a rat's ass if everybody in the higher ups of government in big business are a part of what took place with all this Epstein shit over decades. If it means that we ended up crumbling, but that's what we had to do to drain that swamp, I am fine with that. Because every day it's bullshit. Every day it's something new. Howard Lutnick, perfect example. All right, let's lead with the Lutnick. So do you guys remember Howard Lutnick, Secretary of Commerce, coming out as, I met him once. I think it was my next door neighbor.
He opens the doors, and there's a massage table in the middle of the room, and candles all around and stuff. So I ask very insightful, cutting questions. I say to him, massage table in the middle of your house? How often you have a massage? And he says, every day. And then he gets weirdly close to me. Ooh. And he says, and the right kind of massage. Ooh. Now my wife is standing here. So she looks at me and I look at her and we say, I'm sorry. We have to go. And we left. And in the 6 or 8 steps it takes to get from his house to my house, my wife and I decided that I will never be in the room with that disgusting person ever again. Really? So I was never in the room with him socially, for business, or even philanthropy. If that guy was there, I wasn't going because he's gross.
Oh my God. Do you think that's true? Well, it's got to be true, right? It's Howard Lutnick. He says it's true. He would never, ever be in a situation like that ever again with that gross, disgusting, vile person who is 8 steps away from him, door to door. Never going to be there. Never, ever, ever going to be there. Not one time. Not one time. You would never. Oh, except for that other time.
Nick, I think you understand the root of concern here. It's the way you described very emphatically your first encounter with him in his apartment, said you were disgusted, would never have any contact with him again. Did you, in fact, make the visit to Jeffrey Epstein's private island?
I did have lunch with him as I was on a boat going across on a family vacation. My wife was with me, as were my 4 children and nannies. I had another couple they were there as well with their children, and we had lunch on the island. That is true, for an hour, and we left with all of my children, with my nannies and my wife, all together. We were on family vacation. We were not apart. To suggest there was anything untoward about that in 2012, I don't recall why we did it, but
Mr. Secretary,
again, nobody buys the bullshit. If you knew he had been convicted, if you knew what he was all about, and you continued to see him for whatever reason, I'm just trying to think to myself, hey, I know this guy's a pedo, but you know what I should do? Bring my family to Pedo Island. And he was like, well, we were there for an hour. I brought all my nannies. They came home. The kids came home. The other people that were with us, they came back. And we were on whose boat was it? Was it your boat? Was it his boat? How did he get a hold of you and you just happen to go, well, I'll zip on by and we'll have a cheese sandwich on the dock. That is so who buys the shit? And look, do I know that Howard Lutnick did anything untoward? No. But that being said, the look, right? And today, you know, they're trying to spin. They're trying to do everything they can to make it. What can we do to get the stink off of this? I tell you guys this every day. 2+ years is what it took from the break-in, right? You know, at the hotel, Watergate, the break-in, to it's over. And I'm not saying this about Trump, but let's be honest that there's a lot more shit here, that the DOJ is covering stuff up, that Massey and Ro Khanna go in there and they find names, you know, Les Wexner and all these other names. And in just a short period of time. And then on top of all of that, the stuff that they were supposed to go, oh, we're going to unredact it. They didn't. What they're doing is in contempt of court. They're breaking the law. The problem is the DOJ gets to say yay or nay. And while this started out, I think it's somewhat of a ridiculousness and conspiracy got, you know, over. The problem was the crazies got involved. And once crazy gets involved, all bets are off. You know, once somebody goes, you know, pew pew and up a pizza place, then all of a sudden shit gets real and there's serious issues here. And Thomas Massey said yesterday, and I know that Trump and everybody hates Massey, which is ridiculous, but whatever. He said, well, you know, Lutnick should do him a favor and resign. Yeah, because this is now hanging over there. And they think they can plow through this and that everybody's going to say no. Well, you've got the right and the left. They're asking serious questions about this, as we all should be. And I've never once said I thought Trump did anything untoward to any kids. I said the same thing about, you know, Bill Clinton. I don't think Bill Clinton did anything. That being said, what did you know? When did you know it? And when did you last see him? Because if you said, well, once I found out what he did, I had nothing to do with him ever again. And then you come to find out that you're on a dock hanging out with him and you brought your family to the island, or that there are phone calls, all of the stories start to spin and go to shit. And we need to have a serious conversation. We do. And let me tell you what's going to happen. We've got more debt than we've ever had credit card wise. Sales for December, flat. People feel a little bit more optimistic about maybe the stock market, but less optimistic about the day-to-day life stuff. Things like this start to all of a sudden become that one extra thing and that one extra thing and that one extra thing, and stuff that you deflect becomes harder to deflect and people look harder. The best thing to do is not just get out in front of it, just be honest. Here's the shit that's going down. This is what it's all is. Lay your cards on the table, because the more you hide stuff, the worse it's going to be. The more you hide stuff and tell everybody it's no big deal, nothing to see here, it's fake, the worse it's going to get, because people are not going to give up, if you will, for lack of a better term, the ghost and say, oh, we're cool. They're not. They're not. But do I think they're going to get ahead of it? No. I think Pam Bondi has jacked this pooch tremendously. I think Patel is, you know, just the whole, did he even perjure himself? Was like, well, you know, there was no other can, you know, and nobody else is incriminated in any of these things. He essentially was his own conspirator. He conspired with himself. And then you come to find out, well, no, we're seeing just days into this, that there's more to that. Serious questions need to be asked. Why is it that the Europeans, in particular the Brits, are the only one that seem to be taking this seriously with, you know, freaking whatever his name is? I don't even know what Prince Andrew's called anymore. The guy formerly known as Prince Andrew, in some serious trouble. including the fact that he may have given trade secrets to Epstein. You're like, are you kidding me? And then you've got Keir Starmer, who looks like he is in some serious trouble, and his staff is all quitting, right? And so you've got all of this stuff going on. They seem to be serious about this, where we are deflecting. We should know the truth, even if it's super painful for us as a nation. What happened to these girls was horrific. And I don't want to be a party to any government or anything that is totally cool with this, because somewhere in the back of their weird ass mind that the ends justify the mean, and that these are just people that are easily disposed of, which is bullshit. Absolute bullshit. So we'll see. Thomas Massey isn't going anywhere. And can we just give a shout out to Massey for a lot of the sycophants that will, do anything that Trump asks and follow, the marching orders to go after Massey. Thomas Massey is willing to say, fuck it. Pardon my language. If this is what, I got to go down with, then I'll go down and sleep well at night. Because you're willing to go after me in such a way to protect who knows what, because of God knows what. You got to give it to a person like that. Very few people would say, you know what? All right, if this is what has to happen, then this is what has to happen. And, Marjorie Taylor Greene, wacky and crazy at times, got out. Said, I'm done. Well, she's a traitor. Everybody becomes a traitor when they don't do what Trump and the administration wants. And as I've said, I haven't seen anything that implicates him in any way, shape, or form. He had a relationship. How much of a relationship? Well, we'll find out. Maybe or maybe not. But people that are willing to go out there and say, yeah, you know what, this is wrong, and I'm willing to go to the distance on this to make sure that the truth comes out. Those people, they deserve a fucking attaboy. No doubt about that. All right. Tomorrow, we'll do something more funner tomorrow. On my radio show, if you guys want to hit me up, you can tweet at me at Chad Benson Show. Like and subscribe here. All it takes is a little like and subscribe. We appreciate it when you do that. If you have a chance, check out our shorts and all that kind of stuff. You can go to chadbensonshow.com. Find out where I'm playing in your neck of the woods, 6 to 9 Pacific, 9 to noon on the East Coast. And if you want to, and you should, let me know about One Hit Wonder Wednesday tomorrow. Of course, you guys know on the radio show, we do a One Hit Wonder where we take a song that was a hit from God knows how long ago or just several years ago, and we break it down. What happened to them? What happened in the song? Why was it so big? Why did they disappear? Things like that. So we'll be doing that tomorrow, among other things. And of course, I'm sure some politics, pop culture, and all the other things. You guys have a blessed and amazing rest of your evening. What do we do? It's Tuesday. Go eat some tacos, because I'm going to go do that right now too. As always, like I say, even